ring belonged to the defending champions. They had a game plan, but it did not include having to fight Portland to the very end. It took the hearts of champions to win this one. And in the end, it took a little guy to finish off the challengers. Isiah Thomas said, "Jump on my back, boys. We're going for another ring." The Portland Trailblazers have hearts of champions to be. And in Game 2, they relied on poise and patience to beat the Pistons on Detroit's court. Detroit may want another ring, but when the final bell rang on Game 2, it was Portland sizing their ring finger. Suddenly, Portland has the home court advantage, and suddenly people are now predicting a long, hard-fought ordeal. Nobody's won the war yet as we glide into the third battle, tied at 1. The NBA Roadshow has moved to the Pacific Northwest. We've landed in Portland, Oregon, a city that hasn't hosted a finals in 13 long years. Not that they didn't have anything planned anyway. This city is happening this weekend, folks. The Rose Festival is underway, surely to prove that Pasadena's is only an imitation. In short, with everything going on this week, the city of Portland is on a ride of a lifetime. For more reasons than basketball, this is the place to be. So come on in to the Portland Memorial Coliseum, where the fans go to work at the tip and don't stop until the final buzzer. The 1990 NBA Finals, Game 3 between the world champion Detroit Pistons and the Portland Trailblazers. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien. Well, here we are. We've arrived with a series that's all tied up. The next 3 games are all right down there, and so you can imagine how happy the Trailblazers are about that. Let me tell you how happy they are. They haven't lost in this building in the playoffs this year, and the Detroit Pistons haven't won in this building since the year Richard Nixon resigned from the presidency back in 1974. That's how happy Portland is. As for Detroit, under any circumstances, Game 3 is a nightmare for the visitors, and here, let me give you a sample of how this crowd operates. This was moments ago when their beloved Trailblazers came on stage. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the warm-up. The main event isn't far away, and the man who will be your eyes and ears, not that he'll hear anything, on the floor is Dick Stockton. Dick?
All right, Pat, thank you very much. A big story here. The best defensive player on the best team is not going to start and likely will not even play today. Dennis Rodman, after aggravating a sprained ankle in Game 2 on Thursday, says it's the worst it has been. So Mark Aguirre, who is no stranger to a starting role, will be in the lineup for the Pistons. Rodman clearly has not been himself if you watch the first 2 games. He is the spark of the Pistons, and clearly the spark is not there, and Rodman even admits it himself.
In which, if I'm not 110%, I'm going to try to go out there and play anyway and try to do something and help this team. Maybe a key rebound, maybe a key stop. And it seems like I'm kidding myself and saying, hey, you're going to do that. But I keep hoping that maybe one of these games I'm going to do it. But, you know, it's frustrating. I know I can't do it. I can't do it. I won't admit to myself. I won't admit to the coaches. But it just seems like that I'm not capable of giving that spark to the team.
So they're going to hold him out, and they're going to play him on Tuesday. And UB Brown, what does it mean now with Rodman out of there and Aguirre in the lineup?
Well, naturally, you get more offense. Aguirre has scored over 20 points a game all throughout his career. But the place that it will be tested will be defensively. Can he keep Jerome Kersey off of both backboards and then catch up to him when Portland explodes into that dynamic fast break?
UB, what does it mean? 20 straight wins there for Portland over Detroit on the home court. You're an ex-coach. What does it mean?
Yeah, well, you know, during the course of the season, it's only one game. It could be the beginning of a trip or at the end of playing 4 or 5 games in 7 days. Now, Detroit, the pressure is on them. They're going to be here for 7 days, play 3 basketball games. The issue will be, can they take care of the boards? Can they smother the transition game? That's what it's going to be all about.
Chuck Daly says, don't blame me for all 20. I've only been here for 7 of those losses. But, Pat, I'll tell you one thing. This is about as an electric an atmosphere as we've seen in any NBA Finals. Back to you.
I won't argue with that, Dick. You know, Portland's nickname is Rip City, taken from the old days around here. When every time a Portland ball ripped through the net, they would cry Rip City, like that. And this afternoon, as you travel around the Coliseum, you just know that the rallying cry will not only be Rip City, but rip another city called Detroit. It's Game 3, and boy, are they ready here. We'll be back with more after this. Stay with us from Portland.
CBS Sports coverage of Game 3 of the 1990 NBA Finals is sponsored by Miller Lite, bringing you the exciting conclusion of the Tour de Life. For Hartford, the insurance people of ITT. When you need us most, we're at our best. And by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Pom-poms and signs all over the place. The lineup: Mark Aguirre and James Edwards up front for the Pistons. Joe Dumars and Isiah Thomas in the backcourt, and Bill Laimbeer. Chuck Daly trying to win 2 in a row. For the Trailblazers, Jerome Kersey and Buck Williams, the forward. Terry Porter and Clyde Drexler at guard. And Kevin Duckworth, Rick Adelman, the head coach. This is where the Blazers want to be, back home, and right now let's send you to James Brown. JB?
All right, Dick, thank you very much. And it's obvious that these Portland Trailblazer fans are intent on showing all of America just what hometown team support is all about. Now, today's packed house is the 579th consecutive sellout here, the longest current string of any in professional sports. And despite the fact that this is the second smallest arena of the 27 around the league, the fans here, with some justification, feel they are the loudest. Now, you talk to the Blazer players, they say the fans provide healing power. This is the closest thing to a good old-fashioned gym. Not an arena, but a gym. And whatever shooting or rebounding ills plague them on the road, it's all cured when they come back to the noise den. Now, assuming they can hear me, let's go back to my colleagues, Dick and Huey.
We can, JB, but barely. There are the officials: Jake O'Donnell, Jeff Kersey, and Joe Crawford. Trailblazers in white, Pistons in blue. Portland hasn't lost a home game yet in this year's playoff. And it's Portland's ball to start it.
Kersey definitely hit the funny bone that time. Portland now looks for movement at home. They go to a passing game and try to open the floor.
Kevin Duckworth, wide open.
With Aguirre in the lineup now for Detroit, they usually will start the ball game by going to James Edwards, but now with Aguirre in there, you have 2 low post people.
Dumars off the glass, cutting across the lane. Posting up is Porter against Thomas.
Something which I thought we would see a lot, Dick, during the course of this series, because Porter really is very strong in the upper body.
Aguirre posting up against Buck Williams, and a foul. First one of the game, and it'll be against Buck Williams.
Oh, Jake O'Donnell was sending a message right here. Buck Williams just had him in a hand check, and if that's going to set the tone, we're not going to have any banging around.
Aguirre misses his first attempt of the game, a 3-point try. We're in the opening minute of Game 3, series tied at 1-all. And Williams passed up an open shot. Then took one, but a foul. And it's against James Edwards. Each team with a personal so far.
Well, they're establishing right now, meaning the referees, that they are not going to allow any people using their hands to move the opposite player.
Laimbeer is guarding Buck Williams, and you saw Williams on Aguirre at the other end. Edwards on Duckworth, the 2 big guys. And Duckworth, who Rick Adelman says is the second-best shooter on this team. Gives Portland a 4-point lead.
He has many moves. Not only that outside jump shot, but he's got an assortment of hook shots. Detroit needs more movement. Chuck Daly very concerned with their lack of movement.
Drexler is on Laimbeer right now and nearly tied him up. Dumars on Drexler. Tough assignment for Joe. Buck gets the offensive rebound. Porter beats Isiah Thomas going in, but Thomas knocks it away, but it's still Portland ball.
The two guys to watch off the dribble today are Isiah Thomas for Detroit and then Porter, because Porter is always trying to break down the defense, and especially if they stay with the passing game, the floor will be open.
Setting a screen is Williams on the screen and roll. Nothing there. Buck Williams is short. Kersey with the offensive rebound, and there's Rodman's absence, how it affects it. Porter misses outside.
Any time that Portland gets an offensive rebound, they immediately kick it out to Porter, and they allow him the freedom of taking a three-point shot.
Isiah Thomas trying to go through the defense. Porter against Laimbeer. Duckworth. And an offensive foul will be charged to Kevin Duckworth.
That was an excellent call that time. Laimbeer got hit right in the face. And, you know, he might be bleeding here a little bit. You can see him trying to shake it off as he's walking down the floor. But he took that one head on.
He's a hero at home and a villain on the road, Bill Laimbeer. That's the way it is in his career now. Dumars. Kersey with good position, so he's coming out active off the board.
Dangerous pass that time.
Here's Porter again posting up against Thomas. Buck Williams. And right now, Portland is doing the job on the offensive board.
If I'm the Portland coaching staff, I'm very happy. They are all over the offensive board, and it's not just one player. Plus, they're getting down inside right there. Porter can post up Isiah. Now, this is their trait. Coming into the Detroit series, they were averaging 17 offensive rebounds a game for the 3 previous series. Detroit has been able to negate that and only allow them 7.
Mark Aguirre picking up his first personal foul. Coming into this game, Detroit had 34 offensive rebounds to only 17 for the Trailblazers. That was a development no one had anticipated.
See, right here we have the working man's favorite ball player. You know, the only thing short in Buck's career is his foul shot percentage. Everything else is major. He's a hard worker. Before the game starts, you put 10 to 12 rebounds right in cement.
8-2, Portland. Inside to Edwards. Rebound by Aguirre, and Aguirre draws the foul. Something Rodman normally does, but Aguirre in there on the glass.
Well, Aguirre is an outstanding offensive player. You cannot average 24 points a game over an 8-year career and be in 3 All-Star games if you do not have a total package. He is lethal down in that offensive end of the floor.
Kersey draws the foul. If you've just joined us, Mark Aguirre is starting as Dennis Rodman out of action with a sprained ankle. So Aguirre, who was the starter until mid-January this year for the Pistons.
Something to watch when Detroit has the ball. Portland is switching on everything, so there are an awful lot of mismatches. Detroit must see them and take advantage.
Kersey. He's in a scoring slump since the first quarter of game 1. Laimbeer finds Edwards in good position, and Edwards hits. Good pass by Laimbeer.
Well, they got to open up the Buddha man down in that painted area because they know he can get that fadeaway jump shot.
Drexler working in against Dumars, and Dumars has yet to find a solution for that move by Drexler.
Well, you know, Joe says he's so quick. He's a great jumper, and then he's a very physical player even when he has the basketball.
Dumars, of course, is hampered by a groin injury in his own right, or And there is Aguirre with a spin move. Here's Kersey on the open floor where he's the best. Passing it is Drexler.
Nice.
That's up-tempo Blazer basketball the way they like to play it.
Yeah, that's what we said at the top. Aguirre must get back and take care of Kersey and keep his man off the glass.
Aguirre. Keep in mind when you talk about Aguirre that in 1984 he averaged 30 points a game for the Dallas Mavericks. Drexler gets inside, and they're beating the Pistons down court.
Well, you can see that they're going to the inside game by posting Porter and Drexler. They feel that both guys can shoot over their man.
Here's Edwards. Air ball. Blazers want to push it up. Into Duckworth. He's got the touch, doesn't he?
Oh, that was beautiful. He faked going into the lane and came back with a drop step and just took Edwards right to the rim.
Aguirre and Duckworth each lead their respective teams with 6 points. Thomas gets by everybody and will go to the line. Good move against Porter.
See, Isiah can take his man off the dribble because anytime that there is a cross, people are switching, and he's getting big men on him.
Second foul on Kersey, by the way. And Jerome Kersey, Hubie.
Now, you'll see defensively, Buck Williams is on Mark Aguirre. Now, he is one of the finest post guys ever to play this game. He has many, many moves. Excellent move here going to the basket. That's not the problem, because his man at the other end is Jerome Kersey, who is taking off. Now, just watch as this shot is missed. Aguirre right here to the right of your screen must rebound in this game, or we're going to see the white shirt all over the backboard.
Kersey scored 12 points in the first quarter of game 1 and only 12 since that point. And Aguirre, now Kersey with 2 fouls, will go to the bench. And Cliff Robinson will replace him. Isiah Thomas shooting 2 shots, gets his first point.
I liked Isaiah's statement when they arrived here on Friday, and that is, we now face the ultimate challenge. You know, let's face it, let's put everything in perspective and stop talking about streaks and everything else. They're very confident. They have the second-best one-loss record on the road in this league.
And they want to win 1 game to send it back to Detroit. Duckworth from the corner. Off to a hot start with 8 points.
The Lambier and Edwards are going to have to go out on him and force him to dribble basketball with his left hand. Let's see what he has offensively that way.
Buck Williams is on Aguirre as he was from the start of the game. James Edwards. Well, Edwards at 26 points, the same amount as Lambier in game 2. There's the shooting percentage. Pistons staying close, but Terry Porter on another penetration basket.
That was an outstanding drive to the basket. When you look at Detroit right now, you really don't have any shot blockers out there, so you must challenge the rim off the dribble.
Dumars in rhythm hits there. Dumars scored 16 points.
I like Joe's game early. He's really attacking from the offensive end.
Drexler, 6 in a row hit by the Blazers.
Now we're seeing some matchups here. Clyde the Glide is really coming out here and doing it versus Joe Dumars.
And a Trailblazers foul. And it'll be on Clyde Drexler. He got into foul trouble in game 1 of the series. That's his first and already the 4th team foul against Portland. They're isolating Aguirre, and now the quick double team. Cliff Robinson helping. Goes up, gets the basket, and draws the foul. That's where the Pistons want to make that extra pass to the open man, but that'll do.
Well, Chuck Daly was very concerned. He did not like the movement of the basketball in games 1 and 2. Now here, once the ball is moved, you can see the openings in the defense. It's a very difficult shot by Isiah, but the object is that he has the ability to break down the defense and attack the rim and get fouled.
Meanwhile, Buck Williams has chalked up his second personal, and the Trailblazers are in the penalty.
Well, when you establish inside basketball, it forces people to foul, and then you have substitutions.
Cliff Robinson, who's a rookie. come in for Kersey, who has 2 fouls. Here's Duckworth off to a good start. This is his first shot of the game after hitting 4. 3-point lead for the Trailblazers. Pistons have not had the lead. Edwards had a good opportunity there.
That was a great pass by Isiah. Excellent defense by the Trailblazers.
Porter. Lane Beard clears it. Nearly 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Thomas, and it's 22-21.
Look how fast they get it back down the floor now. You cannot fall asleep.
It's a Portland tempo and a Portland score. If you look at already 20-plus with 4 minutes to go. Porter waiting for the offensive rebound, and it's last touched by Thomas. And Mark Bryant is going to come into the game for the Portland Trailblazers, replacing Buck Williams, who goes out with 2 fouls. Bryant has seen action in one of the first 2 games.
Well, he's a very powerful player, great upper body strength, and they feel that he has a nice offensive game.
Duckworth gets another chance. He's been there, and in double figures now is Kevin Duckworth.
I'm Chuck Daly. I'm really upset here. This is their 6th offensive rebound, and we still have 3.5 minutes to go in this quarter.
They only had 8 offensive boards the entire game, too.
The Aguirre feels he can take Bryant.
Lane here. And Dumars ran into Duckworth. That has to hurt a little, and a loose ball foul against Dumars.
The difference in the game from an offensive standpoint is both teams seem to be missing a lot of first shot opportunities. But at the Portland end, they're getting the rebounds. At Detroit, they cannot come up with the second shot.
Hasn't that been Portland's trademark? Miss most of your shots, but get most of the boards.
But Detroit has done a nice job. Oh, yes.
That'll be the 4th team foul, and Mark Aguirre picking up his 2nd.
Mark Aguirre's got to understand in his matchup with Cliff Robinson, he's got to force Robinson to just shoot the bad selected type of a jump shot rather than fouling.
John Sally will come in replacing Aguirre, so Aguirre is an offensive-minded player. Sally a rebounder and a shot blocker. And now they're going to call Duckworth with the push, and he's going to have to watch his temper.
He's lucky that Joey Crawford left and went down the other end, because he definitely would have been hit with a technical if he heard what he said. Now, you'll see it here right now. Now, watch the forearm. Boom, there's the forearm. Now, naturally, Lampier is going to act a little bit because he saw that the referee was right on top of the play.
Well, the starting front court for the Trailblazers, each with 2 fouls. Kersey, Williams, and Duckworth.
Now, remember, Detroit has 3 guys right at that 7-foot mark.
Dumars driving in with a fine move. He split the defense nicely, and Dumars has 6. Thomas and Dumars have 13 of Detroit's 23. And a turnover as Porter threw it away. And a timeout coming up in a tight 1-point game in which the Blazers have led by as many as 6. Detroit, not at all.
NBA players are some of the most superstitious lot around. They do come prepared. The players make certain that the trainer brings 3 pair of sneakers for each player. They also come with an extra set of jerseys. They have those down at the foot of the bench here. But perhaps the most superstitious thing of all is that they come prepared with their own water. They pack the water from the hotel, bring it here to the arena. And I asked trainer Mac Antonauer, are you implying that someone could spike the water? He says, JB, please, what would give you that impression? Let's go back over to Dick and Hubie.
JB, I wonder if they pack a couple of victories in that bag, too. One-point lead, and Pistons looking to take their first lead of the game. Sally guarded by Bryant. Good double team on him. 6 on the shot clock now. Dumars against a much taller defender. Scores anyway, and the Pistons take their first lead.
Cliff Robinson at 6'10", extended. Joe had to really elevate that shot.
Wayne Cooper has replaced Duckworth for the Trailblazers at center. Cliff Robinson. Only question has been his shot selection, but it's still Portland ball on another offensive rebound. They've got 6 of them. Bryant inside, stepped on the line.
See, with the unit out there, for Detroit right now, Dick. When you have Sally and Edwards and Lambier, come on, you've got to all crash the glass. Now watch the extension here. Look at this. Look at that excellent defense, body position by Cliff Robinson.
Loose ball, and here comes Porter with a 4-on-3 break. Drexler into Robinson. And Cliff Robinson, with a rookie mistake, commits the foul on Bill Lambier. That's the frustration foul, and Robinson commits it.
Well, naturally, Rick is very, very upset there. He's saying that Lambier stepped underneath him on the release of the shot. The thing that I'm very impressed with, if you've been noticing in the early going, Lambier is the only guy back time after time on the Portland fast break.
When the Pistons came out for their warm-ups, he was the most pumped up of all the Pistons. He's their leader. There was a photographer camped under the basket, and Lambier ran into him and knocking him down inadvertently. But Lambier had his game face on.
He's an outstanding free throw shooter, always has been for a big man. He usually shoots 86 up into the 90s during his career. Now, the reason why he's back so much is because in the offensive sets, the majority of times he's at the top of the circle. That's why we're seeing him back first.
He hit 6 3-point shots to tie Michael Cooper's record set in '87 with the Lakers. Thursday night. 1:35 remaining, first period. Drexler. Wild shot, but another offensive rebound by Cooper. Cooper outside. Some wild outside perimeter shooting by the Trailblazers in the last period.
Now, Sally went with an elbow that time. You know, fortunately, nothing. He didn't hit anyone.
Edwards against Cooper posting up. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Dumars fires a three. Edwards gets the rebound, gets the foul, and also gets the basket for the Pistons.
One of the very few offensive boards in this early going by Detroit.
Wayne Cooper on the foul.
You'll see now as the shot, beautiful. Here we go. Now there's an excellent rebound. Now, how about this? In traffic, shot up over the top. He has that ability to fade on the release.
Big contrast between game 1 and game 2 offensively for James Edwards. David Greenwood has come in the game, 11-year veteran in the finals for the first time. There he is. A big, strong, low-post defender.
He's a good defender, and he's a proven scorer. He's played in 16 playoff games where he's averaged around 11 to 12 points a game.
Drexler against Dumars. Porter had a good shot and missed it. And Sally crashed as Mark Bryant tried for another offensive rebound and a Detroit foul. Both teams in the penalty now.
In Detroit, you know, they don't want any of these calls, but they are being out-hustled time and time again, going for that second shot opportunity.
Scott Hastings ready to come into the game, so the Pistons going deep into their bench, particularly since Rodman can't play. Danny Young will come in as a point guard for Portland at the same time.
Let's think about it, Dick. That's why they went out and picked up Hastings and Greenwood, and then also, if they had trouble in the backcourt, Gerald Henderson. All three guys are playoff veterans and have been on very, very good basketball teams in the past.
Here's Mark Bryant, man who rarely makes a mistake, according to his coach. As you can see, up inside player. Makes one free throw. 20 on the shot clock. Isiah Thomas penetrates to Sally.
That's what we have to see today. Isiah opening up all burners today and running the ball back at Portland to take advantage of some extra movement here, because Detroit definitely is slow executing in their half-court set.
11 on the shot clock, differential of about 6 seconds. Danny Young out to Cooper. Pistons have really turned this around in the first period. Robinson with 1 on the clock. And Drexler gets the offensive rebound in the basket. And now the Pistons playing for the last shot. Hastings. But a 15-5 run has given Detroit the lead. And Joe Dumars with a good shooting first period. And that is the end of the first period here in Portland with the score. The Pistons 31 and the Trailblazers 27.
Our first day game in the 1990 NBA Finals, and we get to see some of the scenery around the beautiful Pacific Northwest. And you talk about the crowd being exciting here. How about that first period of basketball, Dick Stockton?
It was very exciting, and the Detroit Pistons, despite their lead pass, the crowd is still in it. They haven't quieted the crowd at all. Isiah Thomas and Joe Dumars accounted for half of the points for the Pistons QB, and Kersey, Williams, and Duckworth still with 2 fouls, the front line for the Trailblazers. Something to watch.
Well, if I'm Portland, I like this tempo. They feel that they will eventually sustain it and wear Detroit down in that fourth quarter.
Vinnie Johnson has come in the game. Talk about a guy who's been snake bit. There's a way to getting him off. 1 for 10 coming into this game.
Yeah, but Vinnie said he needs a flurry of shots, a cluster. Don't give me 1 shot and then go 3 to 4 minutes away and expect me to be on top of my game. Now, this is a matchup that's to Portland's advantage.
And they're going to call Hastings with a foul. So Scott Hastings, David Greenwood, John Sally, Isiah Thomas, and Vinnie Johnson are starting for Detroit in the second quarter.
As soon as Vinnie comes into the game, Portland's game plan is to go right at him using Drexler as the offensive force.
There they go, right there. And this time Greenwood commits the foul. 2 quick fouls against Drexler. Danny Young and Drexler are out there with Cliff Robinson, Mark Ryan, and Wayne Cooper, so the bench is dominating both lineups now.
The main thing is when you play Drexler, you cannot allow him to post you within 3 to 4 feet of the basket, because not only does he make the catch, but then anytime he just turns around and shoots over the top, no matter how good your positioning is.
Drexler has been the leading scorer in the first 2 games with 21 and 33 points for Portland. 5-point lead, Detroit. Sally setting a screen pick and roll, and a great play by Cliff Robinson. But he got his hand on 1 too many pass.
Well, you know, he was hustling that time. He never saw Danny Young out in that right lane. That happened right in front of Rick, and he's not going to get excited about that.
Bailey was excited just a second ago.
Why not? It was a 4-on-1.
Vinnie Johnson trying to get rhythm going. 1 out of 2. Bryant the rebound, but a foul will be called against the Trailblazers. A loose ball foul, and it's charged to Mark Bryant.
Just in the early going with the second unit, every time that the shot is going up, you are seeing Hastings, Greenwood, and Sally on the offensive board banging around. Now the clock is going down.
10 seconds now. Cliff Robinson 6'10" against Vinnie Johnson right now with 4 slapped away and a slapping foul. Cliff Robinson, I believe, got his hand in there, and that'll be his second personal foul.
There was no reason to do that because Cliff is so much taller than Vinnie. No matter when he elevated, he would be able to get the shot for the block.
Another reason why Vinnie Johnson should get some shots, because normally Aguirre comes off the bench with him, but since he's starting, Vinnie's the key man.
Excellent point. That's why Isiah is still out on the floor.
Tipped away by Drexler. Plenty of time on the clock. Layup attempt. Boy, they're crashing the board. A lot of bodies, banging bodies inside. There's the rebounding story. Portland, a lot of offensive boards as well. And Danny Young was holding Isiah Thomas. So already, Portland has picked up 3 team fouls.
Yeah, you hate to have that happen when your second unit is on the floor, because if they ever get near the penalty, when your first group comes back, you know, you're really suffering because they'll come back with 8 or 9 minutes left.
They've changed it to Bryant. It's on Bryant, and that's his second. Sally, this is outside, and it's Portland's ball with nearly 2 minutes gone by in the second period.
On Detroit, I'm going to 2 guys right now, Vinnie Johnson and Isiah Thomas. Let the other 3 guys pick stuff up off the board. At this end of the floor, though, I'm working Drexler on Johnson.
Drexler double team, stolen by Isiah Thomas. Drexler blocks the shot.
Great play.
Cliff Robinson nearly lost the ball. And a new 24-second clock on a kick ball, but Drexler timed it perfectly with Isiah going in.
He allowed Isiah, to initiate it, take it strong, because he knew, and he has such incredible confidence. Now here's the steal right now. You'll see Isiah shoot the gap, and you'll see from the right-hand side, Drexler measuring him. Look how he's measuring him. And there it is right there. Beautiful play by the Clyde.
Drexler's doing a lot of things besides scoring in this playoff.
The All-Star Game this summer on CBS.
On Drexler and Vinny right here. As they run these two picks, this is called stagger picks, you will see the switch out. That's how Cliff Robinson is coming out on Vinny. They are not allowing Drexler to chase him.
Scores. Duckworth has 10, Drexler 9 for Portland. Dumars 8 and Thomas 7 for Detroit. And Portland has yet to attempt a shot with 9:47 remaining. Bryant will inbound. Trailblazers have 3 team fouls to only 2 for Detroit. Looking to double Drexler. Great pass inside. And a miss. Robinson and Detroit defended beautifully inside.
I tell you, he shot that pass through with a gun. That was an outstanding pass by Drexler.
Scott Hastings, the coach on the floor, knocked away. Drexler credited with the steal, and Danny Young will get the layup.
He once again needs excellent anticipation.
Technical foul has been called against Chuck Daly, who's at midcourt to complain about it.
Well, Chuck wanted to foul by Drexler that stripped the ball away from Vinnie Johnson. He thought that he got hit, but Chuck's at the other end of the floor, and then sometimes you really don't get a good angle on that one.
Danny Young with a technical attempt. Portland shaky from the line thus far in the game, and Bill Laimbeer will check in for Hastings.
Now just watch. Here's your catch, and here's your move by Drexler. See, he got it on the way up that time, and then tapped the ball away. In a game like this, and in this type of a series, you're going to have that body contact at both ends of the floor.
Nearly 3 minutes elapsed, period 2. Vinnie Johnson. Basket counts and a foul, so BJ has come out and the microwave cooking for the first time in the series.
See, the way that he just read that pick, you see, now just watch as he comes around the pick and he fades to the corner. See, he's not going to allow them to switch out. The key is it's not how fast you come off the pick, it's how you read the defensive man. So by faking and fading, you're opening yourself up.
A lot of substitutions coming in. Mark Bryant picks up his 3rd foul. But Jerome Kersey is back in, as is Buck Williams. Drazen Petrovic has come in at guard. And Drexler gets a big hand going out. We'll set the lineup. It's Porter and Petrovic at guard, and up front, it's Cooper at center still, with Kersey and Buck Williams back. And Laimbeer and Mark McGuire are in for Detroit. So the Pistons have an offensive-minded team in there, Hubie.
They should do, and they must attack Kersey and Williams whenever the opportunity comes up. Now it'll be interesting to see how they work for Petrovic to open them up. Yes.
He came through in game 2. Cooper. Penetration by Petrovic set it up.
How about that pass? He passed that ball around 2 defenders.
The lead is 4 for the Pistons. It's going to be Portland's ball.
Now watch how the double team comes right to him. Now, how about this wraparound? Beautiful. Wrap around the 2 defensive players.
Each team has had a lead of 6 points in this game. Portland had it first, Detroit last.
Petrovic worked very, very hard. Buck
Williams going strong in his foul. And That'll be the third team foul against Detroit. Chuck Daly said it's a double dribble. Second foul on Greenwood. Talk about an enforcer, a member of the Portland championship team with Bill Walton, Maurice Lucas. And you'll see him halftime on Tuesday night. Charles Barkley and Rick Mahorn. Is that a group of enforcers or what, Hubie?
Pat O'Brien will not have any room to sit down.
Or maybe any room to talk.
That's right. See, in games 1 and 2, anytime that Portland isolates Buck for a little 8 to 10 foot drive, he's been able to score or get fouled.
Portland is 5 of 9 from the line in this first half.
But we have two very poor foul shooting teams here today. They both are at 71 and 72%.
Detroit shooting better, though. Dumars finds an opening. Scoop shot and a two-handed one.
Hey, now, wait a second. He went in with the butterfly kick that time. Come on.
I was going to say that's from your ear, but I don't want to insult you. Petrovic, this is long range, rebound acquired. Dwyer's not a bad defensive rebounder. 38-33 Detroit. Dumars. Vinny Johnson.
The difference today is Dumars and Isiah penetrating at every opportunity and then finding the free people if they do not take the shot themselves in the lane.
Dumars has fresh legs today. That's obvious. Kersey. Still struggling offensively. Greenwood the rebound.
David Greenwood is doing an excellent job blocking his man off and being available for the rebound.
Dumars. And I'll tell you, for the first time in the last series, all three Detroit guards are cooking offensively. 26 points between Thomas, Dumars, and Vinny Johnson, and a 9-point lead for the Pistons. Dumars and Clyde Drexler, a big matchup. Dumars one of the best defensively, but offensively, well, let Joe assess his play so far.
I think I've played solid, but not outstanding. Not as well as I could have played the first two games. Peculiar team we're on. It's the type of team where you can play solid and you know you can play better, but it's almost no excuse because you look across the way and somebody else is stepping up having a big game. It puts you in a spot of, should I go and try to be more aggressive and maybe disrupt things, or should I let it come to me? It's a fine line in between going and taking it and letting it come to you. There's a very fine line.
Whatever he's doing, it's working so far, Hubie. The MVP of last year's finals against the Lakers.
Well, you know, he looks like he has more bounce to his game today. You know, that groin injury that he had was definitely slowing down, and he said he thought he had tired legs coming out of that Chicago series.
5 minutes gone by in the second. Kersey only has 2 points, so he's still in a scoring slump. Vinny Johnson on Porter. Porter, only his third basket of the game.
Terry has been struggling with his shot, shooting in the low 30%, but he has come in here today, and he is definitely looking to score big.
Vinny Johnson looking to score big, is scoring big thus far with 9 points. He is second to Dumars' 12. Then comes Thomas with 7. Petrovic off the screen. Rebound, David Greenwood.
Greenwood doing an excellent job.
Dumars steals it. This is from the corner. Portland down by 9. Petrovic from Zagreb, Yugoslavia. Great player on that national team. Pick and roll. Cooper perfectly executed.
See, you have to stay with Petrovic because he's constantly dribbling the basketball. And the fact that he's such an outstanding scorer, you cannot fall asleep. 2 beautiful passes so far.
Vinny Johnson fouled on the arm by Petrovic. For Portland, they are now in the penalty.
Lampier summed up the Detroit offense. He says, anytime that I get 26 points, you know things are bad. Because we're struggling, we've got to be behind. He said, because this is a guard-dominated offensive philosophy. The rest of us pick it up on double teams and on offensive rebounding.
Absolutely. Kevin Duckworth, you saw, replaced Wayne Cooper at center for the Blazers. Vinnie Johnson, so far hitting only 10% coming into this game, but this is a far cry from what he's done after a pretty good playoff series coming in here. Drexler getting a breather. They got Porter and Petrovic at guard for Portland. Porter going in. Nice play by Terry Porter. Looks like he's starting to get cooking.
Well, the thing I like about his game today is he's not trying to do it all from outside. All of his shots are coming from below the foul line.
McGuire posting up against Buck Williams. Murphy doubling. Laimbeer lets Porter run at him and then hit the two. Two-point basket for Bill Laimbeer.
That was an excellent head fake by Laimbeer to allow the defensive player to go by him. But how about that nice pass out on the double team by Aguirre?
Dumars won't let Petrovic get the three.
Plenty of time.
Porter penetrating. Aguirre got a hand on that pass inside. Turns it over to Detroit. 9-point lead, Pistons. Extra pass by Laimbeer to Vinnie Johnson, and he's on fire with 13 points. Timeout, 20 seconds, called by Rick Adelman.
This was Chuck Daly's biggest worry. He said yesterday at practice, will we come out and make the extra pass? Will we accept the double teams and rotate the basketball? And here we have them. You'll see as they look, they'll probe on you. They don't care. They'll melt the clock. Now, Vinnie is hot, and they will go some. Now, this is a beautiful fake pick and roll, and you'll see Terry Porter coming down inside. See, I like his game off the dribble because he's not only such an explosive scorer, you know it's almost death when you foul him because he's one of the premier foul shooters we have in this league.
Hit 15 out of 15 to break Magic Johnson's record set in 1980. Vinnie Johnson, all 13 points here in the second quarter to lead everybody. 4.5 to play in the first half. Duckworth against Laimbeer. 12 points for Duckworth.
I'm telling you, he's got it all today. He has the jump shot, the jump hook, the baby hook, the drop step, and the power move.
And he takes up space.
But he got foul trouble.
Right. 50-41 Detroit. Petrovic picks up Dumars. Duckworth. Petrovic. Dumars keeping in front of him. Aguirre and Greenwood both went after it, and it'll still be Portland's ball.
They're examining Portland right now, Dick. You know, Chuck realizes that everything is going well for him right now. He would prefer that Portland keeps forcing these shots or trying too many perimeter jump shots.
Clyde Drexler has come in for Drazen Petrovic. Duckworth. Greenwood the rebound. And it's still Portland ball. Greenwood was sitting on the line. But I'll tell you, he's been a very tough defender inside in the time he's been in there.
See, the difference is that when the shot goes up, David blocks his man out. You know, the fundamental rule. Then he will go and he will attack the defensive glass for you. And then he's trying to get the ball out quickly to start the break.
Terry Porter. That'll be the fourth team foul against Detroit. Greenwood.
This big fella right now, Duckworth, is working well. Now just watch. There was this. He was looking for the hook. Now watch him come. He's defense. Now he steps underneath without lifting that pivot foot until he leaves with the shot. Good defense by Laimbeer, but we just saw 3 nice moves by Duckworth.
Terry Porter, one of 3 20-point scorers for the Portland Trailblazers. Came in shooting only 31%, and he's the best shooter on this team.
Anytime that you're shooting a low percentage, you want to try to bring your game closer to the basket. And he has done that today. He's playing everything inside of 15 feet. He's scoring well with the field goals. And then when you foul him, let's face it, we said it before.
We can't even jinx them.
You know, Isiah's sitting out right now, but, you know, Chuck Daly has a tough time getting him in the game. What are you going to say? Dumars and Vinny aren't doing it today?
Lead is 7 for the Pistons. Winding down to 3 minutes to go and a half. Dumars goes in, throws it away. Into the hands of Drexler and Porter. With Lambeer defending. And they're going to call Lambeer with the foul. And now Detroit is in the penalty.
Okay, Chuck Daly better watch it. Lambeer is shocked. He thinks that he got all ball. But Chuck Daly, you know, really made a move. Now just watch it. Keep an eye on the release of the ball. Right there. You know, Lambeer feels that he even missed them. From our angle, it definitely looked like he did not foul him. Now, Chuck, now that's a palm shot. Just a few seconds ago.
A mellow shot.
Yes, right. He was not exactly the happiest guy in the building.
The Chuck we know, right?
Yeah.
Porter. He just said, last guy you want to put on the line. There's his shooting woes coming into this game, yet has been a key man in the near win in Game 1 and in the victory in Game 2.
Well, over the 82-game schedule, he's 6th in the league, 89% on the line.
And the lead is cut to 5. It was 11 for Detroit. Crowd on its feet now. Off the screen, Vinnie Johnson. Picked in by Greenwood. Boy, they're getting great mileage in the first half from the 11-year veteran from UCLA. Drexler to Duckworth. And traveling call. If he had put the ball up immediately, he would have had the easy layup.
Yeah, but you see, he didn't have balance. You know, he was moving. He tried to stop, and you could see when the pass came in, his body was going backwards.
Timeout.
They're looking for Grandma and Grandpa, but they came to their senses and went out and got the autographs, and the players said they really enjoyed meeting the folks out there. Let's go out to James Brown. James?
All right, Patrick, I talked earlier during the game about how this hometown crowd can be therapeutic for the home team, but it can also have that effect for the opponent. As a matter of fact, Vinnie Johnson told me before the game it can be extremely beneficial for him. He's warm indeed with 13 first-half points. And he said, let me tell you something. I'm going to keep putting it up in a huddle. He used playground vernacular and said, hey, folks, milk me, milk me. The translation is, keep it coming to me, baby. Let's go back to Dick and Hubie.
And they're milking him. Well, the Pistons, keep in mind, playing without Dennis Rodman today. And they have lost 20 in a row dating back to 1974. Lead in Game 3 of a 1-1 series. Isiah Thomas back in his point guard. Dwyer misses, and it's off of Lambeer. Portland ball. John Sally also checked back in, so up front it's Sally, Aguirre, and Lambeer, with Vinnie Johnson still in there and Isiah.
Well, let's see if they go at Drexler right now with the matchup of Vinnie Johnson, or whether they go to Kersey and get him in the game. Yes.
Kersey guarded by Aguirre. He's not been in the game yet. Still not.
The problem is when you clear the side and let guys go one-on-one, the defensive team has inside position to get the rebound.
2 minutes to go in the first half. Vinnie Johnson sneaks by and gets another 15.
Remember what Vinnie said, when I've got the feeling I'm in the zone, I can score on anyone.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. 9-point lead. Drexler misses a 3, and the rebound is by Lambeer. Good Thomas trapped, and Drexler nearly caused another turnover.
They should push. Drexler's got to keep up now. Someone's open.
Lambeer goes for 3 and misses. Portland now with a 3-on-2 to Kersey. Jerome Kersey gets scored.
That was excellent, excellent movement of the ball by Portland. And at first, that's one of the few times that Detroit has got caught where there was no one back.
Buck Williams now.
Go right back at him because Buck's in trouble.
Dwyer. Rebound Drexler. Loose ball. Yeah, 3-on-1. Christie gets the basket and the foul as well.
Foul's on Isiah for undercutting him that time. He didn't try to injure him. What it was he was rotating over to cut him off. You'll see now. Now, once Detroit gambles, look at all the blue shirts in the backcourt. Here we have a 3-on-1. There it is right there. Zeke caught Kersey on the foot as he went past him.
Joe Dumars is coming in. The Pistons are going to play with 3 guards with Vinnie Johnson and Thomas remain there. Cliff Robinson will be checking in for the Blazers, and Jerome Kersey can cut the lead now to 4 points if he makes the free throw.
You see, you're Portland, you're very happy. You took a heavy shot by Detroit. You're sitting in this ball game right now. You're only 4 behind, and you know that the tempo is your tempo. You want this pushing the basketball, and you weathered your key guys being in foul trouble.
14 on the shot clock. Joe Dumars missed from the corner, but a foul against Portland.
This might be costly now. Is it Robinson or Buck Williams?
It's Cliff Robinson, and that is his 3rd. Buck Williams, along with Kersey and Duckworth, still have 2. Danny Young will check back in for the Blazers. He can't come in yet. Sally will be on the line. Vinnie Johnson with 15 leads Detroit. Duckworth and Porter each have 12 for the Trailblazers. Now, Danny Young will come in for Cliff Robinson. So, in essence, 3 guards in there for Portland, and Drexler will be moved up to small forward.
Well, you have the ball for 24 seconds right now, or somewhere in that vicinity. And the main thing is you do not want a key guy that you want in the game at the end for defensive purposes to pick up a sport.
And that's Cliff Robinson. Drexler. Hand in the face by Sally hurt.
Now Detroit will slow it down. You know, run the clock out. There'll still be a few seconds that Portland would have an opportunity.
56-50, Vinnie Johnson. Rebound Young, and a loose ball foul against Detroit. And Vinnie Johnson with his first foul.
The Chuck's all upset. Number 1, Vinnie went too early. All right, because he could have run the clock down a lot more. That shot you can get any time. Then you compound the problem with a second negative by fouling on a loose ball situation and putting them on the line for 2 freebies versus making them come down the floor and earn the basket.
Of course, the Pistons will have 14.4 seconds to attempt the last shot. And a 20-second timeout call, so they didn't get anything out of that one.
Well, you know why people are shocked? Because Danny Young is an 81% foul shooter over the course of the year. That's why they sent him to the line before to shoot the technical foul.
Well, we'll be back here at the Memorial Coliseum on Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time for Game 4 of this Best of 7 NBA Finals. Pistons trying to make it 2 championships in a row. And the Trailblazers, well, very few people thought they'd get far this year, but they have. And they want to win it for the first time since 1977, the last time they got into the final.
Well, you know, you feel badly for them because they won 59 games. They went from 39 to 59. They improved 20 games, but all you read about all year was San Antonio. So people forgot how much of a changeover, and you had 8 new players out of 13 guys on your roster.
You know, that record of 39 and 43 was their worst record in 9 years, too. Here's a guy who said he started for a bad team, was on the bench on a good team. Best thing was his 6 years as a head coach in junior college. Laimbeer hits the shot with 6 seconds to go. 58 to 51. Drexler has no choice, and he's called for the offensive foul. Had no one to pass it to.
I'll tell you what, you feel bad for Clyde, but he elevated and there was no one else down here to throw the basketball to. Now there's 1.7 seconds, so you can definitely, if you make the catch, you're going to get off a shot opportunity.
It's tipped, and 0.2 of a second left. In any event, the Pistons, who led by 4 after 1 quarter, have increased their lead here.
Watch the lob to the front of the rim now.
Lambeer inbound. There's the lob. That'll do it. But Vinnie Johnson has come alive for the first time in the finals with 15 points in the second quarter. And Detroit in front, and that is the end of the first half here with the score. The Pistons 58, Trailblazers 51. Matt O'Brien will be along with the Prudential after half.
5 foul trouble and a very difficult half shooting. Where's the emphasis?
Well, Hubie, I think we got to defend them. I didn't think we defended them very well at all. We let Vinnie Johnson get started. We gave him wide open jump shots. We just weren't very active as a team after our guys went out with the foul trouble and came back in. We didn't pick up our aggression. And if we don't do that, this team's going to continue to shoot well.
Bilson, best of luck.
Thank you, Hubie.
And a few moments ago, Dale Brown, the head coach of LSU, had a chat with Chuck Daly on the way for Chuck going to his bench. Talking about foul trouble, you're so right, Hubie, because the front line picked up 2 early fouls and no more. Although Cliff Robinson and Mark Bryant on the bench have 3 personals. David Greenwood, the only one with 3 for the Pistons.
Well, the problem is when your front line guys get in foul trouble, even though you are not a big shot blocking team, you become a little tentative in picking up drivers that are going down the lane. You just don't want to suffer either a foul trying to block a shot or even attempting a charge effect.
Thomas and Dumars in the backcourt. Up front, Edwards, Aguirre.
Playing 2-man basketball. Dumars and Edwards.
Edwards. Rebound by Drexler, who's back there with Porter, who has the ball, and it's Kersey, Williams, and Duckworth up front. Kersey. In and out. Tough break for Jerome. Still struggling from the field.
See, you can't miss the matchups when there are switches. That time, Duckworth had a guard down in the low post, and they didn't give him the basketball.
Wire wants it against Williams. Kersey got a hand on it. Jerome Kersey averaging 20 points a game in the playoffs. Has 7 thus far. On the shot clock. Clearing out for Thomas against Porter. Yes. And he scores at the buzzer. What patience by Isiah.
That was such a tough shot and great defense by Porter.
Drexler going storming in. Gets his own rebound on the shot as if there were no blue shirts around at all.
Well, remember now, this first unit for Detroit did a very poor job blocking out in the first quarter. Until Hastings and Greenwood and Sally came in, that's when they neutralized Portland.
Thomas gets a step on Porter, gets the foul as well.
You know, Isiah is well rested. You know, he played at 17 minutes, but he was out the majority there near the end of the quarter. So they're looking for him to penetrate and go get him.
Dumars and Johnson have scored effectively. In fact, if you look at all 3, they're really back in gear with what the Pistons have known them to be. The strength. Meanwhile, Buck Williams picked up his 3rd foul. Thomas struggled and had a bad shooting game from the line the last game.
Yeah, but when you're looking at the overall playoffs, you know, Isiah, he's right around 79%.
Just a superstar, right? As only a guy could pull out game 1 like he did. Duckworth double team. Block. Pistons have it. I think it was Lambeer. And a technical foul called on Rick Adelman. So he's 10 coaches been hit with a team.
See, Rick is all upset because when the ball went into Edwards, Lambeer came and double teamed. Now you see, he's helping Edwards right here. The ball's into Duckworth. See, this is the first time today that they've gone down in there and double teamed big man, big man.
Joe Dumars hits the technical foul. Rick Adelman, hardly an excitable fellow. Learned under Jack Ramsey, who kind of How would you describe what Ramsey was like on the
Yeah,
field?
well, you know, he's totally under control, even keeled. But look, let's face it, what he's trying to do is defend your ball club, and you do not want them to be taken advantage of, especially from a physical nature. Certainly the early part of the third quarter.
Hit by Kersey. Still Detroit ball with 5 seconds to try a shot.
Portland is out here really hustling, playing the lanes, double teaming hard, and getting a piece of a lot of passes.
Thomas beats Edwards. So the Pistons have 2 baskets in this third quarter right at the end of the shot clock. That's their pace. And Porter stepped on the line. No foul in the collision with Edwards, so it's Pistons ball again.
Well, on that play right there, there was even a possibility of an offensive foul.
Driving is Thomas. He won't go up against Kersey. Edwards will, though.
This is what Portland must do. Get the ball out and push hard on the fast break.
Duckworth traveled. That's the second time he's traveled inside. That was a good call.
Well, Rick's upset. See, they're going down inside. They want Duckworth to get going. He had a sensational first half where he was 6 for 9, but now this is 2 catches of his last 3 that he has traveled in the low post area.
Isiah penetrating. Edwards loses it out of bounds. So Portland takes it back, and now it's a tournament of turnovers.
You know what? No one's happy here. No one's happy at either end of the floor. Everyone is complaining on everyone.
Edwards is called for the foul. A technical, excuse me. Correction, technical foul on, you know, when they say no one's happy, that doesn't include the 2 of us.
The ball went in there that time. He thought he was stripped, and he's asking for the grabbing of the arm. You'll see now, once this ball goes in here he is right here. And then you'll see here he kicks it. He kicked the ball first out of bounds, then he had the body contact.
Trailblazers had a lead in the first quarter. Since then, all Pistons. Kersey lost the ball, and it's going to be Detroit's possession. He's mad at himself.
Well, he is, because that was a terrific touch pass by Drexler, catching him on a give and go.
Beer. Portland handling the defense well against the extra pass on this sequence. Double on Aguirre. Thomas might have walked. Hits the basket.
I agree, Dick. I thought that he traveled also.
And a 12-point lead is the biggest lead of the game for Detroit now. Kersey gets in and scores.
See, this is what we said in the first quarter also. When Aguirre scores, you cannot loaf down the floor. You've got to get down, because Kersey has already taken off, and he's at the other end.
Speaking of the other end, the foul at the other end. And Kersey picks up 3. So now both Jerome Kersey and Buck Williams have 3 personal fouls. And Portland has a few people in foul trouble somewhat. They remain in the game with 3. Edwards trying to get inside, and does. That's the kind of action he had on Thursday night.
He does a good job in stealing the defense. By that, he steps in and gets the body contact. Then he makes his move.
Lead is 12. And Bill Laimbeer raises his hand like he did at Notre Dame when there was a foul against him in college.
You're right. Now just watch. James has been on the move to make this catch. Now as he comes in, see how he'll get the contact. Then he'll play off of his man to go for the shot.
Under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. And an offensive foul called, and Buck Williams is upset, and why not? He has picked up his 4th personal foul. And a decision time now for Rick Adelman.
Right, see, this is major, because this is your leading rebounder. He's averaging 12 a game in the series, and he has 4 because you'd like him to be available at the end of the ball game for you. But Rick is staying with him. This is interesting.
He has stayed with guys in foul trouble. Thomas misses a 3-point shot. Buck gets the board. 12-point lead for Detroit. Drexler inside inside to Kersey. Buck Williams.
Let me tell you what Rick was thinking. See, he was down 12 before this happened. He let him stay in the game. Now, here we're having some words here.
Lambier and Kersey had to be separated momentarily.
This all happened as the players were changing in, running from underneath the basket. A double technical foul has been called.
Double technical foul will be called. Lambier is one of them. Who's the other? Kersey.
See, we have three of the best referees on this game today, and they are very good at keeping control of the game. So they are not going to allow anything to happen, especially it happens quickly when you are changing ends. Now here it is. It's Lambier and Williams. Buck here, right underneath. Now remember, Buck can't retaliate. He's got 4.
That happened fast. Buck Williams went out. Cliff Robinson is back in. So Buck Williams out with 4 fouls for Portland. Steal by Terry Porter. And the lead is 8.
Great play by Terry Porter that time. Anticipated Isiah changing direction.
And the crowd getting into it as if they were never into it, huh? Detroit ball with 9 seconds on the clock. And a timeout.
See, when you're on the road right now, it's shot selection, milk the clock, and then you must rebound and take this crowd out of the game.
This guy came out really pumped up today to lead the Pistons.
Well, he's been very vocal in the locker room, at courtside, to the media, that he wants to see this ball club step up with more intensity. Now, this guy is a team leader with Isiah Thomas. They're 1 and 2. But the staff, the basketball staff with the Pistons and management, had to convince him to come back and not retire at the end of last season.
Mark Aguirre is in the game. And a 3-point basket for Joe Dumars. Dumars now with 16 points. And that is the first 3-pointer in the game. Drexler misses inside. And a foul against Portland. And if it's on Cliff Robinson, and it is, that will be his 4th foul.
See, now watch this shot go up right now. Lambier always is pushing out to get defensive rebounding position. Now we're talking about one of the premier rebounders in the history of the NBA when you talk about Lambier, and it just goes to show you he'll take the body contact because he definitely cannot sky. Right?
Dumars draws the foul. And you mentioned Lambier and the fact that they had to talk him out of a retirement, and he could retire after this year as well.
Well, you know, he's extremely well off. He's a very talented individual, very bright. He has his degree. He has an awful lot of investments. And then one thing about Billy that a lot of people don't understand is how much charity work he does. And he keeps it all in the background. He's an outstanding guy in the community.
Duckworth with his 3rd foul, 4th team foul. Detroit has committed only 1 team foul thus far. Keep in mind that the Trailblazers have not lost at home in the playoffs this year, but that doesn't mean they haven't had more than their share of nail-biters. They've been in a lot of close games here.
Well, let's face it, 2 overtimes with San Antonio alone, but then they did not have Duckworth or Cooper available.
Biggest lead for the Pistons right now, 13 up to 11 on Kersey's basket.
That's the guy that has to get involved. Whether it's the half-court set, you can't say he's going to get it all in transition. He must get some shot opportunities.
Dumars, offensive foul, as Porter jumped in and got position nicely.
Terrific job by Terry Porter. He cut off the lane, was right there for the double team. He's having an outstanding game today. He's doing all of the little things that just don't come up on the score sheet.
And he still has 15 to lead his team. 5.5 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Drexler finds Robinson. Comes up with a loose ball. Good effort play. Try to pass it to Kersey, but Lambier anticipated, and a 2-on-1 break for Detroit. And Porter fouls Dumars.
It's on a pass-off now.
And they're in the penalty now. That's the 15th foul against Portland. First against Portland.
You'll see this is excellent 2-on-1 basketball. Make the defensive player go from side to side. There was no way that Porter could take away Isiah's lane and then get back to Joe.
Shooting two because of the penalty. Dumar's the leading scorer for the Pistons. If he hits this free throw, it'll match Game 1's output of 20 points. So playing without Dennis Rodman, Detroit has led practically the entire game. They're up 75-62 with 5:10 to go in the third. Drexler. There's a technical foul, and Jake O'Donnell has his hands full right now, but if anyone can sort it out, he will.
Well, they have Drexler attacking the basket on the dunk and the foul on the play.
Lane Beer, I believe.
Now, you'll see. Now, I'll say he's really upping his game right now. Watch how he attacks. Bam, there it is. There's your dunk. But what Lambier was yelling about, he wanted the technical foul for holding on to the rim. The rule in the NBA is you grab the rim if there's someone underneath you, so you do not have a serious injury.
Three-point play by Drexler. Edwards fouled by Duckworth, and that'll be his fourth personal foul. So the Trailblazers have serious foul trouble up front with Buck Williams and Kevin Duckworth with 4.
Well, when you're on the road, your first priority is to establish a low post power game. When you do that, you'll invariably score or get people in foul trouble. And when that happens, the substitutions come.
Cliff Robinson also has 4 fouls for Portland. There's Wayne Cooper replacing Duckworth, who got off to a great start early in the game.
Look at these two guys conversing here right now. I think they're both admiring one another's game.
Offensive rebound by Lane Beer after Edwards missed both. Edwards 62% from the line in postseason. Thomas. Lane Beer lays it in. Beautiful play by the Pistons.
Keep saying, the more penetration off the dribble as the game wears on, you get down in the lane. When people double team, you hit the free people.
Drexler misses the long rebound into the hands of Thomas. It's a 3-on-2 break. They slow it up. Dumars. Rebound Percy. Outlet down to Porter. Drexler into Kersey. Kersey with 13 now.
He's the guy they got to get going because he runs so hard on the break. He's your best offensive rebounder, and that will generate more intensity out of his game.
Lane Beer in rhythm. That's the offense the Pistons need in this kind of game.
Anytime Isiah comes off a pick and roll and you trap him, you know he's going to make the pass.
And once again, Kersey now with 8 points here in this third quarter.
See, Chuck Daly's got a big decision right now. You know, Aguirre's got to work harder than what he's working on Kersey as the game changes in.
And he's going to go to Sally off the bench. Aguirre hits from outside, but he wants to stop Kersey, so Sally will come in. Robinson on the transition basket.
I tell you, I'm impressed. Kersey with Robinson are changing ends like a blur.
Winding down with 3 minutes to go in the third. Aguirre for 3, and he hits it. 2 in a row by Mark Aguirre. That is a 3-point basket.
Now you're a coach. What do you do? Chuck Daly just told Sally to back and sit down. Sally's laughing as he's going back to the bench.
Aguirre picked a bad time for Sally to get hot. Cliff Robinson. And Robinson will commit his 5th foul as he bumped Dumars. That'll That'll be 5 on Robinson.
Well, that was a foul of hustle. He missed the shot, and he was trying desperately to get to that loose ball.
Still 5 and a timeout.
Action is fast and furious inside of Memorial Coliseum. The Pistons have sprinted out to a 13-point lead. And in the huddle just now with the Portland Trailblazers, Rick Adelman re-emphasized, fellas, the game is played on many different levels, not the least of which is psychological. Do not allow Bill Laimbeer to pull a Rick Mahorn. Don't let him take you out of the game mentally by getting mad. On the Pistons end, John Sally and Mark Aguirre winked at each other. Sally said, I wanted to be in there, big fella, but you're stroking it. Keep going. Let's go back to Dick and Hubie.
All right, James Brown, thank you very much. David Greenwood, who had a very effective first half, defensively inside, played 10 minutes in the half, is checked back in for the Pistons. He has 3 fouls. And here's Joe Dumars on the line.
Major contribution that Greenwood made. Not only were the 5 rebounds, but how he blocked out and kept his man off the board.
Danny Young will replace Cliff Robinson, who goes out with his 5th personal foul as he picked up earlier.
Joe Dumars during the summer shot every afternoon and down in Lake Charles to improve his foul shooting game. He said with more recognition and more fame in the league, you're going to get the calls. And how about it? He ends up shooting 4th in the league, 90 on the foul line.
And the biggest lead, a 15-point margin by the Pistons.
First time today is their pressing trap.
Kersey, there's the last time. Kersey now with 17 points, 10 in this quarter.
See, when you trap, you better rotate back when the ball goes to the opposite corner. Detroit did not do that.
Maybe a bad team to trap against. Who knows? And they throw the ball away. Drexler with a good move on Aguirre, who lost his footing.
Now just watch as the ball hits the corner. Here's Kersey coming right down the middle of the floor. They were too late on the rotation, and the back guy, James Edwards, was nowhere to be seen.
And a 3-point basket by Clyde Drexler cuts the lead to 10. With under 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd period as Portland staged a rally and a 20-second timeout called by Chuck Daly.
Smart move by Chuck. What he wants to do is keep the game above 10. You have 1 minute and 44 seconds to go for the quarter. Regroup your team. Get a little focused here right now. And most important, take the crowd out. Make them sit down a little bit.
Tuesday night, game number 4 right here at the Portland Memorial Coliseum, 9 o'clock Eastern time. If you've joined us late, Portland took the early lead. They were up by 6, but the Pistons in a 15-5 run toward the end of the period took it and have held it for good. They finally have had a good scoring game from all 3 of their guards. Dumars with 22, Vinnie Johnson 15, Thomas is 12, and 5 men in double figures playing without Dennis Rodman today.
Well, it's a typical what you think of Detroit type of a ball game from an offensive standpoint. Guard-oriented, guards off the dribble, don't fall asleep or they'll take the outside jump shot, and then they'll always make the extra pass.
Edwards. Dumars for 3.
Oh, my.
And Joe Dumars with his second 3-point basket. 25 for Joe. That quieted the crowd. Pushing foul against Detroit. Only the 13th foul.
See, Dumars is so aware of Drexler down on the box, and he told me that he wants to keep bumping him and keep bumping him. They caught the bump even though Joe did get popped.
Drexler, he's hot from outside, hit a 3, missed that time. With 1:19 to play in the 3rd.
Remember, Portland is a big 3-point shooting team with Porter and Petrovic.
Dumars in the baseline over Cooper. Cooper gets the rebound. Outlet. Drexler slides in. And James hands in midair and draws the foul.
You know, the man, Drexler, really amazing. Effortlessly, he attacks the double team and how he can shift the ball from hand to hand and come out of it with a sensible and soft shot attempt.
Coming up big in these finals and in the last series. Vinnie Johnson, you saw, checking in for the Pistons. 15 points in the 2nd quarter. Bill Laimbeer will replace James Edwards. Edwards goes out with 10 in 1:02 remaining. Third quarter. And an 11-point lead. The biggest margin was 15 a few minutes ago for the Pistons.
See, they really don't have a play right now, so Isiah calls for the pick and roll.
Thomas. Lambeer open in the corner. Thomas gets the offensive rebound and shuffles into Greenwood, who draws the foul.
Now, that is not rare in this series. Isiah Thomas is averaging 7 rebounds a game for a point guard. Now, watch this shot, and where Zeke comes right down the middle and gets right in there, puts his nose, and then makes the big pass because he knew that the shot would have been blocked.
You're right, Isiah Thomas had 7 rebounds in each of the first 2 games. Has 5 in this one. One out of 2 for Greenwood.
Greenwood's in a tough situation, Dick. He's only averaging 5 minutes a game throughout the entire playoff, you know, even when he does play. So everyone is asking him to play perfect in the short time that he's on the floor.
Percy from Drexler. They had a triple team, and the Pistons fouled it. And Detroit in the penalty. It'll be Greenwood's 4th personal.
From now to the end of the game, you know that right here, Kersey, this is very, very tough cover for anybody because Kersey's so quick, and also Drexler down in low. These 2 covers are very difficult for Detroit.
Jerome Kersey, called by his coaches the best rebounding small forward in the NBA. You might get some comments out of Philadelphia and in Detroit with Rodman and Barkley.
Yeah, but they also say that he should have had votes for the best defensive and an award, either first, second, or third team. And here is the zone press, 2-2-1, and now they're going to match up into a man-to-man.
11 on the shot clock, a differential of about 10 seconds or so between game clock and shot clock. And Drexler with the knee, and Aguirre will go to the line. 3 on Clyde. Dennis Rodman with a sprained left ankle. They even say has some floating bone chips in there, which makes it a little more serious. And, of course, they'll tend to that after the season. They hope he's ready to play on Tuesday night. Has not played today. Dwyer misses 1. John Sally is in for Greenwood.
You go back over Aguirre's career during the 8 years in Dallas. Every year in the playoff, he averaged over 20 points a game. Last year here, 12 a game. This year, right at 12 a game.
Drazen Petrovic has come in. They're going to need his outside shooting with one last chance. Aguirre misses them both. Portland with one last chance to cut it to 8. Porter feeds inside with 3.2 seconds remaining. And it's an 8-point game. And no shot. And Portland is making a run. Joe Dumars did it for Detroit, but in the late stages, it was the Trailblazers and Jerome Kersey. And that's the end of the third period. Pistons 90 and the Blazers 82, and we'll return to Memorial Coliseum after this message and a word from your local station.
Lucas bats the ball away, keeps it alive, over to Warden. Lucas with a steal, Warden.
Walt Clyde Frazier. Frazier goes behind the back on Maravich, has the step, and beats him with the left hand.
NBA action has always been fantastic.
Welcome back to the 1990 NBA Finals, Game 3. The Pistons lead the Blazers 90-82. And the question of the day is, why are the Trailblazers fans not worried at this point? And the answer is their team has just made a little run. And the other answer is they've seen their team time and time again become a big fourth quarter team. On the other hand, those guys in blue are the world champions. Let's see how it unfolds. Here's Dick Stockton.
All right, Pat, thank you very much, and you're right. The Pistons have outscored the Blazers in each of the first 3 periods, but somehow you have a sense that Portland is making a serious run here.
Well, the people feel it. You're Detroit. You're a proven team winning on the road. Over the last 3 years, when they've been to the finals now, they have been, with the Lakers, the 2 best road teams in this league. And you can't get records like that unless you can play big at crunch time and take crowds out of the ball game.
Starting the 4th quarter, Danny Young and Clyde Drexler at guard, along with Petrovic. So Drexler will be playing a forward position along with Kersey and Cooper up front. Buck Williams on the bench with 4 fouls. Duckworth also with 4 on the bench. Petrovic from the baseline. Rebound, Kersey. Beer clears it. He's got Sally up front, along with Johnson, Dumars, and Thomas. 3 guards for both sides in there. Vinnie Johnson. What a game.
Think about it. He sat on that bench for the entire quarter, just came in, boom, popped in his statement. Like he says, when I have to feel, I can shoot it at any height because I feel like it's strong anyway.
Kersey and will call a blocking foul against John Sally. That's the first foul of his 4th quarter.
He looked like he got popped pretty good there that time, but he was definitely moving. Both referees were right on top of that play, and they catch him moving with the foot right there.
10-point lead, Detroit. Petrovic. Drexler with a 3-pointer, 10 misses over Vinnie Johnson, and Lane Beer with another rebound.
Lambier used his left hand to hold Cooper off and then rebounded with his right-handed trouser.
He's in double figures off the boards for the 3rd straight game, Lambier.
There's a clear out.
Thomas. Hit. 1 second on the shot clock. Dumars, arcing shot, makes it. Boy, those are killers.
And they've had a number of them today.
27 for Joe Dumars. In low to Drexler. Hard off the glass. And Lane Beer with another rebound.
It's fine to play up tempo and to get it up quick after Detroit scores, but it comes down to shot selection.
12-point lead. Lane Beer. Cooper clear.
They have an advantage up here now. There it is.
Petrovic. Petrovic had the shot, but decided to go to Kersey instead. And a timeout called by Rick Adelman, and they're a little out of sync right now.
Well, it's an excellent call because they've had the advantage 2 plays in a row, and they ended up with bad shot opportunities and a 4th turnover.
In our game summary, Detroit having a terrific shooting game. They're the leading scorers, but in the backcourt, Detroit, that's their trademark, 56-37 edge on Portland.
We have a little ramble-scramble here. Now, there's your double team. They're going to try to make the extra pass. Now, you'll see. Here it goes. Now it's scrambling around. Now, watch how Dumars lofts this shot up skyward in order to get it down and in.
Trailblazers are bringing in 2 players in foul trouble. Kevin Duckworth and Buck Williams, each with 4 fouls in there now, and that's a good move by Rick Adelman.
It is, and remember now that Portland's outside scoring is down. They're only 2 for 18 from the perimeter today.
Just under 10 minutes to go.
They feel they can take Petrovic off the dribble.
Foul on Petrovic. Right now, let's send you over to James Brown.
All right, Dick, during the last timeout, Chuck Daly was talking emphatically with his 3 guards. He really thinks that he's found a weak spot in that Portland defense, and that is they cannot handle his 3-guard alignment. Let's go back to Dick and Hubie.
Welcome to the club. That's been the story around the league for the last 2 years. Thank you, James Brown. Dumars now with 28.
Well, there's still a lot of time to go. We have almost 10 minutes of play. Now, it's good to go to 3 guards as long as they can keep hitting the high percentage shots. But once you start missing, you know the Portland can hit the boards, beat you there, and then get out on the break.
Portland's yet to make a shot here in this 4th period. Danny Young, Petrovic. They still hold, and let's see how they'll call this one. It'll be against Portland, and it's Petrovic. Rick Adelman was looking for a foul against Lane Beer.
See, what's happened now is Petrovic has got to take the shots, all right? And better shots. He's getting caught where he's having difficulty banking the shot off the board because of the angle.
On the clock. Dumars stuffed through by John Sally.
The people in the building wanted goaltending there that time, but Sally definitely caught the rim with his hand.
Drexler tied up nicely by John Sally.
Well, you'll see now as the shot goes up. See, the ball, in order for it to be basket interference there, is right there. As a matter of fact, it's Duckworth who's the one who touched it first and put it back.
Well, he'll take the point. Actually, both guys are over, so no call. Sally doing it at both ends now, wins the tip.
Oh,
Vinnie Johnson behind the back.
Chuck Daly.
Shades of Rod Strickland.
Poor Chuck is up and down, pacing back and forth.
Pick and roll, Duckworth. Lane Beer smothers it. Low to Buck Williams and an offensive foul, and Duckworth has committed his fifth foul. So Duckworth with 5.
You see, Lampier is smart right now. See, Lampier got popped pretty good, and he went down, and he wants the floor to be wiped off. So if there was not a timeout call, he was going to get the kids to come out to wipe off as he shakes out the cobwebs.
But more important, there's a 20-second timeout called by Rick Adelman. Last time Detroit won here was in 1974, and here's the lineup. Some familiar names: Bob Lanier, Dave Bing, Sidney Wicks, Bill Walton, Jeff Petrie, Lenny Wilkins. 20 straight games. Earlier this year, the Trailblazers won by 20. That was in November.
2 Hall of Famers in that old-time game there, going back a few years. Dave Bing, Lenny Wilkins. Lenny then became the head coach of that ball club.
Duckworth to the bench with 5.
Plenty of time, 8 seconds on the clock.
Mercy replaced him. Lane Beer for 3 from the corner. Rebound by Kersey with 8:25 remaining in the fourth. Kersey from Drexler. Kersey now has 23 points. He had 14 in the last quarter.
Appreciate their game. If they can hold Detroit to 1 shot, force some turnovers, they can come back. They're so quick in the open floor.
That was their first basket in the fourth period, believe it or not. Only 4 minutes. Thomas. Matching him basket for basket won't do it for Portland. Down by 16 now. And the Pistons foul.
See, Sally, he didn't know whether it was on him or whether it was Joe Dumars. But Joe Dumars is always going to use his forearms and bumping Drexler off that low post. He wants to get him out.
3-point basket by Terry Porter, who is 2 for 9 coming into this game from there. But at home, he's a different shooter.
Oh, you can't fall asleep on him. In the playoffs, he's had at least 3 games of 3 or more.
Dumars gets in the paint. In and out, tapped in by Sally on Lane Beer's miss.
Portland's got to block out now. You can't let Sally get to the glass.
15-point lead, and Vinnie Johnson fouls Danny Young. Now they say it was blocked out of bounds, no foul. Young, nice move.
Well, Danny just flew right by Vinnie Johnson. Vinnie stopped guarding him out by the foul line.
Minutes gone by.
Plenty of time.
Dumars. And it's Portland's ball, and a timeout comes. where sometimes it gets overcast and rains. They call it liquid sunshine, and we're right in the middle of the Rose Festival, and yesterday was the big Rose Parade. Well, they say it's no place like home, and home court has been the theme coming in here. But after Portland won the other night, and if this continues here with Detroit leading, this may hardly be, Hubie Brown, a home court final that no one had anticipated going that way.
Well, Detroit definitely has upped their intensity, but they're getting such outstanding guard play. And by that, I just don't mean at the defensive end and scoring. I mean making the difficult shot. You know, the high degree of difficulty with the shot clock at 1 or 2. That's what has been able to keep them ahead. But Portland can do it. There's plenty of time. You have close to 7 minutes, but they must do it defensively.
I was going to ask you, defensively, and then what else offensively if they don't get transition? What do they do?
Well, you know, they are a very good three-point shooting team. Drexler and Porter, and then if they come with Petrovic, you have 3 guys who can hit the three.
Porter for 3. Great hustle by Drexler. He saved that one. Lambier picking up Porter on a switch. Thomas gets him back. Out to Drexler for a 3. Way off.
Sally got a piece of that one.
Boy, they are scrambling for it, and it's going to be Detroit's ball.
From our angle, you cannot tell. You see, Sally gets a piece of that one, forces it to go short. Now, when the ball goes down here, let's see if one of the players, there he is, you see, Porter was out of bounds. So that's the call. You cannot be have any part of your body out of bounds when you have the ball.
Detroit with great perimeter shooting. Portland can't hit a lick from there. Nearly halfway through this final period.
If you're Detroit, you take your time. Just don't force anything.
Thomas on the pick and roll hits the jumper. They are impeccable from outside today.
See, because they keep getting to that foul line and below area, Dick.
Umar's on the bench at 29. Kersey goes up on a foul. Little bump with Lambier. Jess Kersey gets in the middle.
Now Lambier, you know, laid a good lick on him that time. He's not going to let him dunk the basketball because he's going to force him to go to the foul line. Now just watch this. Kersey, nice fake. Now here comes Lambier. He's not going to let him score, okay? Now watch what happens after that. You'll see Kersey now. He gives him a little noise and he gives him a little push-off. But that's to be expected.
Valley committed the foul. Kersey is perfect 4 for 4 from the line today. And a 13-point lead. Kevin Duckworth on the bench with 5 personal fouls.
Now here comes this zone press. They're looking to get maybe one trap. If it doesn't happen, then they'll match up man-to-man. They're trying to get Detroit to waste seconds off the clock.
Dumar's open for the moment. And that's usually all he's needed. Vinnie Johnson comes back. The second shot and the guard doing it again.
Well, we have 2 great second guards here who are terrific on the offensive board.
Porter
and Vinnie.
Drexler keeps it alive for Porter.
Nice.
The struggle, still Portland ball.
Now that was a major league pass in traffic. Incredible pass that time to Kersey. Kersey thought that he was fouled on his shot.
The Clyde with a swoop and a loose ball foul. It's another one against Detroit. That'll be their 4th team foul.
See, what we're seeing now is here. Now watch this nice penetration, beautiful pass. Here goes Kersey to the glass. And then you have the referee has got to say, you know, when a guy goes to shoot in the NBA, do they give the foul if the guy is standing underneath the rim? And in that case, they did not. Okay, the next factor is remember, Detroit's getting away with 3 guards, but when the shot goes on,
offensive foul against Buck Williams, and that's 5 on Buck. The previous foul was on Bill Lambier. That was 4 on Bill. But now with Duckworth on the bench with 5, Buck is playing with 5.
Think of how many times today Bill Lambier has taken a charge or a non-charge with the body contact.
A lot. Pick and roll. Sally. Buck Williams with the rebound. Thomas bumping Porter. second effort, and Detroit now will be in the penalty. That's their 15th foul of the fourth quarter.
See, the people are frustrated. See, they want a charge, block, call on every single play. So they want the blocking foul to be called on Lambier. But he has been there, and he's been standing still and taking all of his body contact.
Kersey makes the first. Kevin Duckworth and Buck Williams are in with 5 fouls. No looking ahead with 4:47 to go. You're down by 14. You got to play your guys.
See, but they need turnovers right now. Portland has got to turn them over. And you got to give Detroit credit. They've been running their offense up until now meticulously without forcing passes.
Vinnie Johnson gets out of trouble. And the basket good and a foul as well.
Yes. Yes, indeed. That was away from the ball on the other side of the floor. We just witnessed Vinnie Johnson doing his thing, but away from the ball, you could see Lambier was hit.
Buck Williams is fouled out of the game. That's 6 on Buck.
Now keep up there on the left-hand side. You'll see Buck Williams and Lambier to there. There it is right in the throat area as he clears them away on the shot.
Buck is fouled out of the game, their best rebounder, with only 5 points and 6 rebounds. So Buck Williams is fouled out, and Vinnie Johnson's 21 points is a playoff high for this year for him.
Buck Williams and Lambier. As the shot goes up, Lambier grabs Buck's shirt. Buck turns around and pops Lambier right in the throat. Once again, that bad boy Billy with the grabbing of the shirt.
Let's go to James Brown right now.
All right, Dick, a couple of the Pistons teammates came over to Lambier to ask how he felt afterwards. He says, fellas, you know, I've been doing this act a long time. I'm fine, and as long as they continue to fall for it, I'll continue to do it.
Wow. Give him an Oscar. And Bill Lambier with the free throw, and it's 109-93, and this is the quietest this crowd has been all day, and I mean from an hour before the game. Pick and roll, Duckworth. He pushes it up, the rebound by Lambier. He's got 12 rebounds today. Danny Young is guarding Isiah Thomas.
What we're seeing today is really to be appreciated. They're coming into a building and really doing their thing.
John Snally off the glass. There's Dumars, gets the loose ball. Want to see why world champions are world champions under this kind of pressure coming into play like this.
And then, see, the intelligence. Don't force the shot. Bring it out, milk the clock, run it down. Let's try to get the game down under 3 minutes.
Lambier with a turnaround. Drexler. Basket good and a foul. Drexler. 21 points for Clyde. And Bill Lambier now has picked up his 5th foul. One more and he's gone.
Well, one of the few times that Bill has not been able to get in front of the driver. Clyde just made a, really a sensational move. His ball control with one hand is just outstanding.
21 points, 11 rebounds, full court pressure, Portland.
Well, now they're going the first time today, a 1-2-1-1 full court trap. Now, what you must be careful with now, they have run 4 seconds off the clock to get over half court. They have 6 seconds to get it over.
Traveling. Turn it over, Dumars.
Terrific move by the coaching staff of Portland. They have not seen this 1-2-1-1, the trapping immediately, and then on the inbound pass, trapping again. You have to let it all out right now.
Why do I think it won't be the last time we see it either? Kersey. Here's the layup. Duckworth. And let's see if it's on Lambier. He's out of there, and he's out of there. 6 on Lambier. Here are the reaction as he leaves. Points for Lambier.
Now you'll see on the missed shot, Duckworth just rips this down, and there's the foul right across the arm. Naturally, Billy he knows he has 5. That was his 6th, so he did not want the call.
James Edwards replaces Lane Beer.
Now let's see how Detroit handles this full court pressure. Most important, the trap. The first trap is coming from Duckworth on the inbound pass.
11-point lead. Dumars has it knocked away by Drexler, but they're making him work, Hubie.
It's the element of surprise. You know, you say, should they be able to get it up? Well, they haven't seen it the whole game. That's the toughest thing.
Good play by Thomas, beating the double.
Now the way to negate it, if you're Detroit, is to run your offense, get the maximum, and if you don't get the score, try to get on the foul line.
Under 3 minutes remain. Illegal defense against Portland. That's the first call of the game.
See, the bonus that it does for you is that it gives you a new 24-second clock. Now, Portland is only down 11 in their building, 2:55 to go. And remember, two good three-point shooters in Porter and in Drexler out on the floor.
Right now, they want to stop Detroit's offense. Duckworth picking up Thomas. 10 on the clock. Dumars short with it. Kersey has it batted away. Sally has it. And Dumars with a reverse layup. And his 31 points ties the season playoff high for Joe. Porter. Rebound Sally. And Portland rushing. Yes. This a big basket by Joe Dumars.
Court awareness.
113-98. 15-point lead. And a pushing foul as Vinnie Johnson goes flying about 10 feet on the floor.
One thing that you do not want to see happen here is that now Vinnie, you can see he won that ball. He fell hard, and on the left wrist area, is you do not want to see any player being taken out of the rest of the series now with a serious injury. So you have to be careful.
Gerald Henderson and Chuck Daly realizes that. Vinnie Johnson goes out. He scored 21 points. Big part of the Pistons win if they hold on. Memorial Coliseum in Portland, but doesn't appear to be a home court day. Pistons winning on the road. On their way to breaking a 20-game losing streak here if they hold on. But Danny Young steals the ball and misses the layup. Porter's foul.
Easy now. Isiah's not going to let him get that layup that time. Terry Porter understands that. That's why there's no retaliation there. But you see, when you're in the backcourt, you cannot jump up in the air. You'll see, once you jump up in the air, you're committed. You know, and if you do not have clear people to throw the ball to. Now, there's Danny. I'm making a strong move, but this is what I like right there. Terry Porter not assuming that the layup was going to be made. He followed the shot, gets the rebound, and now he's on the line.
Vinnie Johnson rubbing his wrist. Got a little spray and a little tape, and he's back out there now. But I think what's happened in this game 3, Hubie, is that the tenor of this series has changed. I think they've stepped up in the physical department that may set the tone for the rest of it.
It's going to be a Donnybrook and a great series. What Portland has to do is step back after this game is over, if they should lose, and evaluate the passing game in open floor. Did it get them what they really wanted offensively today?
Close to midcourt. Vinnie Johnson hangs on. Steal. This is incredible. The way these players are diving for loose balls on the floor, trying to get the ball away. And the foul is against Kersey, his fourth. Fourth team foul against the Trailblazers. But this place is quiet, although very few fans have gotten up to lead.
Gerald Henderson's in the game because he's an excellent foul shooter. He's been in over 70 playoff games in his career with Boston and Philadelphia, and it gives you another ball handler.
And the Pistons will use this timeout to get things straightened out for the rest of the 1:36 to go in game number 3.
difficult shots that they've made. And then at the opposite end of the floor, they have really stepped up and played a Piston-type defensive effort.
And the guard, Dumars with 33, Vinnie Johnson with 21. Danny Young fouling. That's the 15th foul and the penalty now.
Naturally, if you're Portland, what you're trying to do is stop the clock. If he can't make the steal, foul, force Isiah Thomas to go to the foul line and make the foul shot.
Well, looks like the Pistons are on their way to stealing one on the road after losing so many without their best defensive player and yet playing a fantastic defensive game, inside particularly.
Well, you know, like Dennis said yesterday, I was only taking up space. You know, kind of nice. I can't rebound. I can't play defense, so I should not be out on the court.
Thomas misses, rebound by Drexler. Portland hanging in there. Young misses a three-point attempt. Edwards rebound. 114 to 100. Pistons too smart a team to lose a 14-point lead with this much time remaining, and another foul will send them to the line.
Well, you know, Chuck, you know, the game can't end fast enough for Chuck Daly right now, but, you know, he's looking at this. James Edwards has really been struggling on the foul line, you know, throughout the entire playoff, shooting in the low 60s. But what you try to do is to get your players who cannot shoot well on the line to get rid of the basketball and get it to the guys with the high percentages.
You're right, he's had his trouble. Miles on the bench with Lambier and Aguirre. Hastings got to play. Time for some pensive thought on the Trailblazers side. Portland has missed 10 of its last 11 shots.
Well, see, everyone was relying on up-tempo basketball today here in Portland. We're going to fast break more. We're going to play open court. Well, Detroit has closed down the open court type of the game. But the fast break game, in order to get it, you've got to force turnovers, and you've got to get them to miss. And they have not done that today.
Sally is fouled after the rebound. This will be the first time that the Detroit Pistons have won in this year's playoffs after giving up 100 points in a game.
Well, you know, we said at the top of the show, the main thing here with the Pistons is they've been here now Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, they've been here, they've had a chance to rest up, shoot around, get a feel for the city, and then come out and play. At playoff time, you can throw away those records if the team is in the opposite conference from you. It's different if you play them 6 times a year, 3-3. Here, you're only playing them twice, 1-1.
Yeah, and of course, when you say 20 losses, none of these guys even remembered any of those games after the last 4 or 5 years. Well, the Rose Parade a little bit wilted with this Detroit victory. Under a minute to go, they're leading by 15 points. 12 on the clock, and Porter forced to foul Isiah Thomas.
If you're the coaching staff at Portland, your game plan was taken away from you early by the foul problems of your front line. Everyone was in foul trouble. They had to sit major minutes, and they just seemed never to get back in sync, Dick, no matter what combinations they had, and even at the beginning of the third quarter, the same thing.
You know, that foul trouble really affected things because it ruined their whole strategy with Aguirre in there, starting in place of Rodman.
Absolutely. And I think, I know he didn't score a lot of points in that, but he made a healthy contribution for Detroit, and that was David Greenwood in the first half.
13 minutes he played today. Duckworth with a little exclamation. First Blazer home loss in the playoffs coming up. Drexler travels. Lady didn't get hurt.
Yeah, you know, that's tough. When you're flying in like that, ready to elevate, and you hit a slick spot on the floor. Now, I don't know whether Drexler felt he was bumped on that by Isiah.
Portland forcing the foul, but time is running out on it. It's 119 to 104. For the Trailblazers, Kersey with 27, Drexler 24. and Porter with 20. So they had their 20-point scorers do their thing.
Well, it's so hard for a team in the finals to come in. Never mind the psychology of the losing streak. The main thing is to win so handily. You know, they're up 16 right now with Zeke shooting the second half of the shot now. They've just done a masterful job today.
On Portland, I have to worry about not letting the Pistons win one more here, because then you go back to Detroit. You don't want to be down 3-2, but the Pistons are thinking that way now. Here's Duckworth. As Detroit has outscored Portland in every period, and you can't be more decisive than that, Hubie.
Well, the Portland perimeter game was totally non-existent today, and also their front line in foul trouble. They're the major issues for their offensive philosophy.
Dumars leads with 33. Thomas and Johnson 21. The guards had it today for the Pistons, and Detroit has taken a 2-1 lead in the best-of-7 series. Right now, let's send you over to James Brown. JB?
All right, Dick, thank you very much. A lot was made about your poor shooting the last several games. Why weren't you concerned?
Because I felt like my shot was on. You know, it's difficult when you come off the bench and you get 4 shots, 6 shots. I'm a scorer. I'm not a shooter, so I need more time. I need more shots for me to be effective some nights. Some nights I can come up and hit the shots right away. Some